Bam. What's good, all my Dexters and Dexters? Welcome back to Dexter's Laboratory. What's good? What's good? How you feeling today? How did your day go? How did your morning go? Did you get enough sleep? Right now, it's 7:20 a.m. December 9th. Christmas is creeping up. What y'all about to get somebody? Y'all about to get y'all girl something. About to get your man something. What you about to get him? What new game would you even get him? Just save up for GTA 6. Every man needs that. Every man. If he has GTA 5, you know what to do. I think everybody's about to cop that game, but that's not even the video today. That's not even the Well, hold on. I did a video a few days ago. Look how good I be sleeping. My pillow is in I be pushing it back. I move when I sleep. But that's not even today's video. Hold on. Voice kind of cracking. Get some water. Get your snacks. Today might be a lengthy video. I might have another video for y'all today. But I did a video a couple days ago on the death of Cartoon Network. And this is the new conversation. The conversation that's been a thing, actually. How long this video is? I mean, 4 weeks ago. Okay, that's the talk of the town. And we about to see what he has to say. This is Cartoonish, the same guy that did the Cartoon Network one. Gotta subscribe. And I like these analyst videos, these, well, he's bringing up facts and opinions. So that's what I like to watch. I might as well record it. Y'all get y'all snacks for real. And yeah, I might drop a cop video as well today. So y'all get ready. Daily reactions with Dexx in the laboratory. Let's go. Let's go. Golly, just popping him up is crazy work. It's like you would have never thought, just sitting down, not being on the internet at all, looking at news, just watching your favorite shows, you would never realize what these people are going through, because this is nasty right here. I don't know if y'all seen that video where it was her birthday. He was just trying to get close. let me use his name, Spencer. He was like, don't play with Carly. Don't watch how I see you. You a grown man. Nasty. I don't understand it.
Okay, it's not that dramatic, I just really hate Dan Schneider. Nickelodeon is a network that needs no
Danny.
introduction. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, it was-
Hold
No,
on.
there's no introduction. I hate when people do this and you do too. Let's get to the point. You
Okay.
know what Nickelodeon is. You know that it was at one point the talk of the town and easily the best cartoon channel. And I'm sure you've noticed that things are not very good right now. One might say it's cooked, and it has been cooked for a while, much longer than its rivals like Cartoon Network and Disney Channel. Whereas Disney Channel has been floundering for years, and Cartoon Network is currently nearing the end of.
No, Cartoon Network is done at this point. 4 weeks, it's done. It's been before that. It's cooked. Look at all this. Look at the lineup. You could fill a whole theater with the lineup. That says a lot. Muriel, I see you, bro. Go sit with your peoples. I see you, bro. This the highest quality? You gotta give the laboratory the best.
Of being rinsed dry. Nickelodeon has been generationally washed for like 15 years. And this is without mentioning how much their reputation
Wait, how many years?
Generationally washed for like 15 years. And this is without mentioning how much their reputation has been splashed with poo water because of the number of people there that cannot control themselves around women and children. In my Death of Cartoon Network video, I mentioned how it was important to not generalize the main issues facing the channel as
being forced to see ads.
We're not trying to hear that. I don't have ads on my videos yet. I'm not about to do this to y'all. These boo-boo ads too? Come on. Give me good ones.
Cartoons were better when I was a kid, as it's a fairly reductive argument, and not true, considering everything else going on there. With Nickelodeon...
It's easy to say it.
Yeah, no, I can't lie, things were much better when I was a kid. Nickelodeon is a bloody, beaten horse that is one final catastrophe away from finally kicking the bucket. With their absolutely miserable output of cartoons and live-action shows from the last 15 years, how chasing the success of SpongeBob caused them to set fire to everything else, all leading to the network falling off the cliff of relevancy, and now only being remembered in the public consciousness.
Loud House had to be like, it wasn't like the best show, but I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. It's a better new show for Nickelodeon. This is our bar. He's gonna remind me of another show that I'm gonna say, but Loud House is not the bar. It's almost there.
Is a hive of scum and villainy that's headlined by a guy whose undying love of feet would cause Tarantino to seek God's last remaining drops of love. Nickelodeon is a dead network and a far cry from its former self. And we're gonna talk about it. Grab a snack and stop looking at your drawing tablet and listen close.
Sanjay and Greg. Okay, that's another bar. That's another bar, I'm not gonna lie. For a cartoon show, cartoon Nickelodeon show, Sanjay. When did that even come out? Like, I'm gonna have to research. Y'all drop it in the comments. Y'all favorite Nickelodeon show. And then go to the Cartoon Network one and hit the favorite Cartoon Network show. RP to the website as well. Condolences.
Lord knows I'm no stranger to making fun of everything going on at Nickelodeon. By the way, if you ask me to review Loud House again, I'll staple you to my ceiling.
Golly, Loud House get that hate? I'm not sitting here rewatching it though.
Nickelodeon, what's the first show that comes to mind? Okay, smartass, now actually think for a second. Basically, nearly every single iconic Nickelodeon show that instantly comes to mind was made before the 2010s kicked in. Off the top of my head, we have Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats,
Okay.
Hey Arnold, Drake.
Okay, that was Rocko's. That was Rocko's.
The 2010.
I literally have a 2010s Nickelodeon shirt. They got a good lineup. It's not memorable if you had to be there, and I wasn't there for some of these.
Kicked in. Off the top of my head, we
Not all
have
of them.
Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats, Hey Arnold, Drake and Josh, iCarly, Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, Danny Phantom, Invader Zim, My Life as a Teenage Robot, Penguins of Madagascar,
My Life as a Teenage
Avatar, man. Honestly, when you look at it this way, Nickelodeon.
That's crazy. When I first seen Avatar, I didn't even think it was Nickelodeon. You had to have the little watermark at the bottom to know. Oh my gosh. I remember having a Zuko figure toy. What, you don't even have toy aisles in Walmart. They're boo-boo now. They're boo-boo. They're not the same no more. I gotta find a video on that. I seen a video the other day about Skylanders too. I feel like a lot of people, if you had, I think it was on the Wii U. I can't remember which one. I remember going to my friend's house. I think I had the starter pack, but to just put a toy on there and then it goes into the game, that's tough. They kind of milked it because they had 4 games, like they were the same, you know. That they made bread. I can't even fault you. And they need that with a Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon comes pretty close to edging out Cartoon Network's catalog.
What am I talking about?
There was a time where Nickelodeon was branded as the cooler, edgier alternative to most networks at the time, and it's a big part of why the brand and so many of its shows are ingrained into people's memories of the 90s and the culture back then in general. Sure, going into the 2000s, Nickelodeon started to greenlight more
Fanboy and Chum Chum. Yeah, the 2000s. That's me right there. The 90s, Hey Arnold. I didn't see that much on TV. That's more of like a late night morning type show vibe. What was y'all time to watch cartoons? Before school, after school, wake up early, see Little Einstein, climb aboard. Wait, was that Disney? I can't remember.
and the
Backyardigans? Okay, let me
culture
chill.
back then in general. Sure,
Let me
going into
chill.
the 2000s, Nickelodeon started to greenlight more shows that either struggled to find their footing, often faded into
Golly.
irrelevancy, or were just straight up bad, but they still had a steady
No, that was bad. The Barnyard, cool. It was enjoyable to watch. It was funny to look at. The animation was funny. Decent show.
to find their footing, often faded into
Goated
irrelevancy,
even.
or were just straight up bad.
In The Power of Juju, I remember seeing this on TV. And it looks nasty. His feet the same size as his head. Wait, isn't that normal?
But they still had a steady output of quality shows to fall back on. Then we get to the 2010s, and to be perfectly honest, I don't know why everything just suddenly fell off a cliff the way it did. Look, I'm not one of those nostalgia doomers who acts like Nickelodeon
Really?
produced nothing of value during this time. TMNT 2012 was pretty good, Victorious was fine, Legend of Korra, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it is mostly well regarded. Harvey Beaks was a delight and deserved so much better. I am still bitter about how this
Ooh.
show was treated. Welcome
Harvey Beaks. He's reminding me of shows. The Breadwinners.
to the Wayne is fine. Not everything in the
I don't remember
2010s was
that.
a disaster for Nickelodeon. It was just the other 75% of content that sucked. To keep up their competition with the Disney Channel,
Golly.
Nickelodeon just started rapid firing a bunch of dog awful sick
No, this was bad. This was bad.
That failed to really strike a chord with anyone besides actual toddlers.
Marvin.
And also they were just bad. And miraculously, some of these were insanely popular among kids. Henry Danger is genuinely one of the most insufferable pieces of shit that I've ever watched in my life. But it doesn't stop the show from making love.
No. They had some moments. You can't discredit the whole thing because they decided to move along with some more. Like, they should have stopped. I don't want him to come back, bro. Whatever they ended it on was cool. Whatever, like, I'm not, no. Leave it where it is. Do like 24 episodes. Easy. You can get a full rounded story. They be milking shows on Nickelodeon. That's why it be getting so bad. SpongeBob should not be a thing no more. It should be somebody else, being that SpongeBob. When it comes to cartoons, you think of Nickelodeon. SpongeBob.
Love to YouTube's autoplay feature, Jesus Christ. So I guess it did have its moments.
Like Kim and Kanye.
Hi, Charlotte.
Man, that is not them.
The Nightmare Blunt rotation of Game Shakers, The Thundermans, Sam and Cat, and then a bunch of actual fictional shows. I refuse to believe
Game
these existed
Shakers?
at some point because this is my first time reading about some of them. What the fuck is a haunted half away? Remember when Fred got a TV show? You remember Fred? I do. I remember Fred. I was happy back then. Not with this show. This was dookie. And in terms of cartoons,
movies was better.
the main focus of the network, things were not looking too great either. A lot of what was being greenlit was just really bad. There was a new Alvin and the Chipmunks show that was apparently really popular, yet seems to have the cultural relevancy of my last gaming clip dump video. I am including this next edit for no reason other than I think it's funny.
Come in and enjoy the ride.
You want a Henry Danger animated series? That's not a question, by the way. That's
I forgot about this. This is garbage. The Alvin and the Chipmunks, wasn't that a movie though? The show I'm cool off of. You can put that in the background. Alvin.
You want a Henry Danger animated series? That's not a question, by the way. That's a threat. And it's real.
Holy crap, it's real!
I got to see Butch Hartman demonstrate twice in a row why he is the most washed showrunner in the business. If I was Butch Hartman and my cartoons fan base was only...
It's like, stick to one thing. If you're gonna, don't dump all these shows. Like do 24 episodes, maybe 2 seasons. You can get replay value so much out of that. Doing this,
being kept alive by
too
some
many.
freak with a slapstick fetish, I'd probably kill
I remember
myself.
this,
I saw some people a while back try to kickstart a revisionist history campaign for breadwinners, like how everyone suddenly decided a few years ago that Fanboy and Chum Chum was secretly some avant-garde masterpiece. I'm all for reevaluating things long after they finished airing.
Move. Y'all want me to play this? Spider-Man Go Dumb. Dexx Morales. I downloaded it and then deleted it because I was like, hold on, it's low-key taking up storage. But y'all let me know. Should I stream it?
But you guys know it's okay to like shit, right? Like, I'll only judge you silently. Loud House's first season is...
That's me. I'm here liking some of it.
Good.
What are you gonna do? Not watch TV? Come on now. Especially if you got to go over to somebody's house. You don't want to be there. They got the TV on. They said, here's the remote. Oh, yeah. I'm cooking. Episode 16. Channel 16, 17, or 18. Y'all know them TV channels. Is that the antenna? Is that dish? Yeah, I don't know.
Completely up to you how you feel about the rest of the show. I don't feel like getting death threats from Pedo Incorporated today. Kung Fu Panda Legends of Awesomeness. Hey, I just talked about this show. It's fine, so long as you don't look at it for too long. I have yet to watch beyond the first episode of Pig Goat Banana Cricket because I'm afraid I might actually...
No. I said I didn't know what this was. What is this? I wasn't sitting in front of the TV all day doing. Like, how can they even put out all these shows when you have certain slots? They put these out months before. They get the slots months before. Let me just play because I'm hiccups.
Die. Anyway, Rabbids. Robots and Monsters, the most boring fever.
No, this was nasty. You just see this come on at night. The shows that don't really the best one was probably Fanboy and Chum Chum. Out of these.
Nothing show ever. Sanjay and Craig was like every negative stereotype about Nickelodeon shows cranked up to 11. How did they get Snoop Dogg on this show, man? How does that happen?
I'm so mad.
Papa got a brand new band.
And of course, for their popular long-running shows, things were not too hot either. I'm not
I
about to
don't
be the
know
10
how.
millionth person to explain SpongeBob's decline in quality, though it did get better after the second movie.
Quality be looking good. It's just not for SpongeBob. Like, I don't know what new director they got in. I can't even remember if I seen this. Sandy Cheeks look nasty. She's supposed to look like a shorty. Like, at least have the little, the little things. At least.
And Fairly Odd Parents was likely running on the fumes
Nasty.
of Butch Hartman's toilet.
Nasty.
There was just a lack
Stop.
of good programming on Nickelodeon throughout the 2010s, especially when you factor in how SpongeBob would take up like 60% of the schedule, and that's being incredibly generous. Things were
That's what I'm saying. SpongeBob is taking all they have too much content. Like they've done everything you can. What else? I seen a clip of a Squidward jumping off of a diving board in space or something. He just looked insane. Y'all could probably search up exactly what I just said and find the video. Nasty.
looking up for a bit in 2016 when Loud House premiered because everyone was caught off guard by a Nickelodeon show releasing and not being unwatchable garbage, even overtaking SpongeBob in ratings at one point, but eventually it would just become the network's second SpongeBob, occupying the majority of the schedule and drowning out nearly everything else in a sea of orange and yellow.
All day? Y'all get one slot for Power Rangers on the weekends. That's regular. Friday, y'all got the Paw Patrol Jet to the Red. Nobody's trying to see this back to back. Oh my gosh. I've never looked at the... Like, it's been a while since a whole, like... Y'all seen the TV... Can't even think of the channel.
I maintained a stance that the 2010s was the absolute worst era for Nickelodeon by far. Not only did they completely lose sight of their identity during their...
I'm not gonna lie, I got a little chunk of the good and it just went downhill. Sam and Cat was watchable.
Pissing contest with Disney, but the majority of their cartoons were either forgettable or outright bad, and this was coupled with them losing that playful, edgier branding they were known for and becoming just another sanitized children's network.
Golly, the SpongeBob fallacy. I think a lot of them, especially when it's people that's grown, like, you know, you grow up out of these shows, you could look at a lot of these shows like, what is this? You got to look at it as you, as a kid, just getting some free time to watch something on the TV, which was a lot of the time. But, you know, you're grown now. So you look at this like, bro, come on now. Come on now. And what other ones do we got? SpongeBob, network relevancy. I feel like that it's just not much growing room. A lot of these people are growing out of this. It's a new age. Nobody's basing this off of just channels. So SpongeBob gotta be the only thing they're playing now. That gotta be like recent. That is wild.
You guys like SpongeBob, right? Don't answer. Wait, I made this joke already.
I actually love SpongeBob.
SpongeBob or any of SpongeBob's eras over the years. One thing is...
Hold on. Do they even do the bubbles anymore? The little bubble move, like, you know, you watching SpongeBob. You know, you watching SpongeBob. That's the show that's on.
It's undeniable. Nickelodeon loves this guy. I mean, why shouldn't they? He can effectively bankroll their entire empire.
I'm going to show you guys how my style
SpongeBob
went from
Network.
this to this. All I had to do was fill out a style quiz. It asked me
Ooh, bro, your big forehead.
They don't need anything else from a business perspective. Give me 24 hours of Freak Bob, sir. You can probably guess what this section is about from the title. Somewhere down the line, likely after the first movie release in 2004, Nickelodeon realized that SpongeBob was never gonna die and was here to stay until the end of time. I'm sure that one guy who said it was the death of Nickelodeon back in 1999 is on suicide watch. And eventually Nickelodeon began getting complacent in its success. Nothing else on the network was pulling in SpongeBob numbers. Other shows on the network were pretty successful, but nothing grabbed the same number of viewers and revenue as SpongeBob.
Fairly Odd Parents, they definitely had their time. Now you get the baby up in there, like you could rerun the old episodes of SpongeBob to a certain extent. I don't know what season you would stop at, but y'all know when it's like golden era of SpongeBob. Like, these are the episodes. They had back to back. You even had the CD, the DVDs. Come on now. They had the best episodes on those. They had the best episodes. Like, They could still make money just playing those episodes. And them trying to upgrade the quality, I feel like it's natural, but stop it. You could still watch SpongeBob like it was ahead of its time. It was ahead of like, hi Kevin. They don't have moments like that no more. The characters are just
I say Nickelodeon began to decline in the 2010s, but that's just where the effects of their incompetence and cynicism started to rear their ugly heads. The roots of this downfall were planted in the mid to late 2000s. Gradually, over time, SpongeBob began to dominate the network's schedule. If you tuned into Nickelodeon at any time of the day, there was a very good chance that SpongeBob would be airing. It was a money printer. It makes sense to give an already successful show more time slots, but SpongeBob's time slots were
SpongeBob show,
overkill,
SpongeBob
only
channel.
being outdone by Cartoon Network's obsession with Teen Titans.
I'm about to see what's this at the bottom. That's 2 episodes of Steven's Universe. They literally rerunning the same episodes. Dang, that's Cartoon Network. No, I'm tripping.
SpongeBob's
I wanted to see this.
time slots were
No, that's still crazy though. That's
overkill,
still
only being
crazy. No, Teen Titans Go just being no, that's crazy. There's no way these are real. And look at the times. 6 a.m. to 7:45 p.m. all
by Cartoon
day.
Network's obsession with Teen Titans Go in the late 2010s. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing the yellow bastard, and eventually that got tiring for SpongeBob fans when the show started to go through painful seasonal rot that's been documented for the past 20 years. And this complacency, this over-reliance on SpongeBob started to really get to the heads of the executives, as more time slots weren't enough to satiate their greed. They had to make sure everyone else making shows for them was having a terrible f***ing day. It became common in the years that followed for many shows on Nickelodeon to struggle. In Nickelodeon's eyes, if you weren't pulling numbers similar to or on par with SpongeBob, it was lights out. You're done. Many shows began getting abruptly cancelled, even if they were
That's the problem. They want that. They want the same thing. You can't do what SpongeBob has done. You can't. You could say it's garbage, but it's real people running the business. Like, they gonna milk it. This was a true thing. After SpongeBob's voice actor passed away, my apologies, I don't know your name. I can't remember off the top of the dome. He's my with names, but after that, they should have just cut it off. Respectfully cut the show off, because that voice, now it's just annoying. And y'all can't lie. Don't hit the same no more. Like, when is SpongeBob gonna grow up? Sponges don't get old. They don't wear out. This dude is still pushing it. Like, and then they could go off and venture with the other small things with SpongeBob, and that could be like the back burner. Then you have more time to make a better show. SpongeBob, like, y'all, they just pump out episodes. That's how it's looked to me over the years. It's not good.
Pulling in numbers that any network at the time would have been happy with. And when it came to greenlighting new shows, Nick started focusing on trying to create the next SpongeBob rather than greenlighting newer or experimental shows, or just anything that wasn't super wacky and hyperactive. What the fuck is Pinky Malinky? Hate to bring this up because you've likely heard it many times before, but famously Nickelodeon rejected Adventure Time when it was being pitched, and before it was picked up by Cartoon Network. Now, personally, I think if Adventure Time did get picked up by Nick, then we would be living in a much darker timeline. They would not have let a show like Adventure Time do half the things it was able to accomplish in Cartoon Network when it began to tell more sophisticated and mature stories. The age of Avatar was over. You're never getting another show like Avatar from Nickelodeon, unless you're Avatar apparently. But given the first season of Adventure Time was mostly silly, goofy adventures that would have fit in quite nicely with Nickelodeon's catalogue, they could have at least had that. And regardless, I'm sure they were kicking themselves seeing how...
My fault. They would have never kept up with... Yeah, they would have never... The funniest, they would have overly dragged out trying to be funny and relevant, not making classics, and having a little timeline and a world building. The world building for SpongeBob it's not there. It's not there with the characters, and it's very, like, I can't even fully say that. Like, the characters act, certain fishes, how they act. My leg, but not like Adventure Time.
Massive Adventure Time was for Cartoon Network. No matter how you look at it, this was a generational fumble on Nick's part. Maybe I'm looking into that too deep though. I mean, if you look at it another way, I'm sure Nickelodeon was happy with whatever Breadwinners was. Buckle up, duckies, 'cause we got a rocket band. And this whole stretch.
That was brain rot. Oh my gosh. Breadwinners. Got a rocket man. I don't remember. I don't remember. It was good while it was there. These shows aren't lasting that long. You know, you don't get no nostalgia because they're done already.
Strategy of trying to make the next SpongeBob
They're
regardless of
gone.
quality
No
was only
replay.
being handicapped by how fucking incompetent Nickelodeon is as a business. Hey kid, you want a successful show? Well, we'll just put you right here on the schedule. There we go. Anyways, good luck. What chance did anyone have of their show becoming a hit with viewers if the network itself was actively sabotaging them with this awful schedule? Do any of you remember Glitch Tex? That show fucking rocked. The animation was sick, the action was great, it was funny, it felt like it was actually written by people who play video games. It was a great show. Too bad they killed it. I guarantee you, if they just gave some of the good
how many episodes?
games, it was a great show.
1, 2. Is this all the episodes? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 episodes.
Bad they killed it. I guarantee you, if they just gave some of the good shows they were making some time to actually cook and chopped off like half of the SpongeBob slots on the schedule, I think they'd be making a similar amount of money, if not more. I'm not a businessman, no. I don't walk into work and get gifted the SpongeBob condoms, and maybe this is outside of my expertise. But either way, this is just not a...
And it's so bad because none of the other shows are hitting anymore. SpongeBob is the only chance that they see to keep up with the bread that they've made with SpongeBob. They circled everything around SpongeBob. That's what it looks to me. And it's like you can't fit nothing else in to make it feel like it could stand alone. You're still waiting for SpongeBob to come on at 6 or 8. The nighttime SpongeBob. Like, bro, that every 2 episodes of something else. SpongeBob. And I love SpongeBob. Like, the older, y'all know. Y'all do too. Like,
winning strategy. All this has done is cement Nickelodeon as the SpongeBob network. Nothing else can compete. Loud House got insanely lucky to be as popular as it is, and it's part of why it had so much hype around it. There was finally a show on Nickelodeon that didn't make you want to DIY circumcise yourself, and it was rubbing elbows with SpongeBob when it came to rating. Finally, some variety, everyone thought, before the fingers on the monkey paw began to curl. Now we have the same problem we've been having for the past 15 years. But now there's some orange here too. This is, for lack of a better word, cringe. Nickelodeon has spent 20 years posting cringe.
Town Hall 17.
I agree. I feel like they're wasting their time. They're just like until SpongeBob burns out to a small little thing, they're not gonna stop. What else? You know, the creativity just been on SpongeBob. Who else can write the storyboards for shows? Who else? Look like they got a lot of people
I'm sure you've all
too.
felt it recently, right? The other thing. The sense that Nickelodeon has essentially vanished from the public recently,
Is that a political joke?
The other
bro.
The sense that Nickelodeon has essentially vanished from the public consciousness. Unless you're talking about how many perverts they've sheltered, but we'll talk about that in a sec. I mean, the network's just nothing. It's irrelevant. Comparing Nickelodeon in the 90s and early 2000s to now is actually kind of haunting. You know the whole rebrand I mentioned earlier? How Nickelodeon had all this cool edge that appealed to kids and helped us stand out compared to their competition? How the network just had a more fun vibe.
That looks goofy. They don't do these little cutscenes no more that like gets you in the feel like Nickelodeon. I don't hear that. Like, there needs to be something new. I hope it's not the same thing anymore. This is somebody that doesn't watch TV no more. YouTube, anime, on their networks respectively. I don't even have Max, HBO, where most of that is on. So it's like, you have all these other networks. You might as well branch out into your own thing at this point with these shows, because this is, I guess you could make more money signing to a certain network, but cable ain't it no more, actually.
And it got what kids were actually looking for in entertainment, and how this brand of theirs was so strong it made them a household name throughout the 90s, and how if you ask anyone who grew up in the 90s about Nickelodeon, this branding of theirs is the first thing that comes to mind.
Even Hey Arnold, they had so much structure and character with their people. Like, oh my gosh. There's so many episodes that, like, they were actually trying to give you a message through it. Like, SpongeBob, what messages can you teach anymore? What messages? They're not on the same time, and they're not. Never will
And
be.
is how most adults still perceive a network. Yeah, they threw all that out for the flanderized corporate look that I hate. Just compare
Yuck.
the vibes of 2010's Nick to 90s Nick. They're totally different. 2010's Nick just doesn't fit Nickelodeon.
Like, what is that slimy? Everything is slime. Freaks, bro. Nickelodeon's filled with freaks. It's like, dang, y'all really, like, hold on. Said Nick, Elo, Dion. Nah, it's if you, I don't know, it's a weird way. Who came up with this name? That's all I'm trying to say.
Feels wrong to see this logo
Like,
in such a sanitized state. We already went over how the 2010s was a catastrophic wave of bad shows and how SpongeBob basically drowned out any hopes of them being successful. But let's talk about the now. What does
nasty.
Nickelodeon have now that isn't SpongeBob and Loud House? Well, there's Fairly Odd Parents and New Wish, which is a fantastic revival and the best thing to come out of Odd Parents in years. And to my knowledge, it's doing well when it comes to viewership. Tales of the TMNT, a show based on TMNT Mutant Mayhem, recently released, and I think it's pretty good. Not sure how well it's doing, but still. But those are really the only positive things I have to say about what Nick has on display right now. There was a CG Rugrats reboot that I haven't bothered with.
3 of these that he said has been reboots. Like, Fairly Odd Parents, don't say it's a sequel. I don't want to hear it. Ain't no way they grew up taller. Like, the whole point of them being fairies and small was the fun part of it. Them just floating in the air. Gosmo.
Released, and I think it's pretty good. Not sure how well it's doing of Odd Parents in years.
Like, what is this? They still flowing. They still float. What was this about?
Isn't SpongeBob and
what was this about?
House? Well, there's Fairly Odd Parents and New Wish.
Where's your baby at? Don't tell me this is a sequel.
This is a fantastic
is that the
revival,
baby?
the best thing to come out of Odd Parents in years, and to my knowledge, it's doing well when it comes to viewership. Tales of the TMNT, a show based on TMNT Mutant Mayhem, really the only positive things I have to say about what Nick has on display right now. There was a CG Rugrats reboot that I haven't bothered watching, and looking at the reviews, I don't think I'm missing much.
Dang.
Rock, Paper, Scissors is a show that exists. Patrick Star Show is inconsistent slop. The really loud house.
Oh my gosh. They can't leave stuff in the past to make some new heat. Oh my gosh.
Right there was a CG Rugrats reboot that I haven't bothered watching.
Look at
and
this.
Looking at the reviews, I don't think I'm missing much. Rock, Paper, Scissors is a show that exists. Patrick Star Show is inconsistent slop. The really loud house.
I'm not watching any of this.
Nothing airing right now besides SpongeBob, Loud House, and whatever third thing that manages to breach containment. But kids just don't watch cable anymore. It's all streaming. Already touched on this in my Cartoon Network video, so I'll try and keep this as...
It's like we're just burning out everything else that we have until we're kind of like just left with a few shows that are on these networks. It's their choice if they want to keep you alive after you're done, like at this point. If they want to sign you or take you off. And what we found out with Cartoon Network, them taking off certain shows, Adventure Time, was that Paramount? It was HBO Max or Paramount on something. But Cartoon Network's not going to have those shows no more. It's sorry. Both of these cases are crazy.
Brief as possible. Streaming is Satan. Streaming is one of the biggest problems facing animation right now.
Like, look at... Come on now. There's so many options though. Like, you really got to choose and compare. And you'll have some cartoons on every single one of those. Netflix always got something new. People just... That's most of the time what people are going to have first. Oh, you got that network... you got that Netflix password? Thank you. That's all you need. YouTube TV.
Efficient rate than previously, renewing and cancelling on a whim, and this trend chasing completely f***s of animation given it takes far longer to make than the vast majority of shows. Big name streaming services have already built up massive libraries of content and they're overly reliant on established and profitable IP, which also throws a wrench into things given original ideas can barely get off the ground now. And to add further insult to injury, layoffs in the animation industry are rampant right now as studios are constantly trying to make their finances look better. If you want more elaboration on this part, then again watch the video. But back to Nickelodeon, they've settled on being packaged with Paramount Plus because
Cartoon Network
and
too?
just like Viacom, this service is awful. There's nothing here. Like, there's Knuckles. Do you like Knuckles? And of course, a bunch of Nickelodeon shows with SpongeBob being
that's
at
the
the
only
forefront
thing
of the service's marketing. Paramount.
That's the only cartoon I've seen on there. I don't get anything else. All I will open up is network. I mean, why I keep saying network? Who? Netflix, YouTube, or Crunchyroll. That's all you need. What? How much are you really gonna watch? The subscriptions are at an all-time high. Netflix, they know what they're doing. Crunchyroll got the $7.99 easy. I've been trying to cut out the subscription, so I don't need all the extra. I don't even pay for the Netflix one.
Plus is not popular. It
Thanks
may
for the
have a lot of
password.
subscriptions, but you compare that to the total subscriptions of Disney Plus, Max, Amazon
dang.
Prime, Netflix, and you realize just how small Paramount Plus is in comparison.
Like, look what Disney did. You see no other channel on here. Cartoon Network and Netflix didn't catch on. They were like, okay, we still, and they left the scene. Let's try to do art. Like, no. They make their own channels. That's kind of what I was saying earlier. Make their own network. That's the only way they're gonna survive. And then better your shows, because I don't know if they probably still signed out a few years to these channels. They was like, we'll stay. But now they're losing money. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
And because of that, Nickelodeon's irrelevancy in the age of streaming is much more crippling. Nickelodeon is just an afterthought today. They're just the SpongeBob and Loud House guys. They have no personality, no variety in content, and they're slowly being drowned out by everything else.
Yep. Uh-oh. Time to rant.
Quiet on Set is a documentary that was released earlier this year that goes into detail about the dark side of Nickelodeon, going over the
Oh, let me know if y'all watch this, because I know it streamed on something, but I only seen Drake Bell's clips on YouTube, and then I kind of like backed up from it. I kept seeing clips, but let me know if it's good.
awful behind-the-scenes stuff, and specifically focusing on Dan Schneider's antics. The impact of this documentary cannot be understated. It was the first time the wider public were educated on the nasty and toxic working conditions that children had to go through while working on Nickelodeon shows, and also the first time that the majority of the public had even heard of Dan Schneider beyond recognizing his
Like, you're not that guy. Why are you grabbing on her like that?
And also the first time that the majority
Like, yo.
the public
I'll
had even
beat
heard
this
of Dan
dude.
Schneider beyond recognizing his name. There was also Drake Bell coming forward about his assault at the hands of Brian Peck when he was 15. A particularly shocking revelation, as the unnamed victim of Brian's assault had never come forward until now. Needless to say, Nickelodeon is not viewed very favorably by most people right now. This section isn't just about Quiet on Set, it's also about Nickelodeon's history with the stuff in general. Nickelodeon has developed a reputation for being weird, not just due to the actions of many people working at our company, but they've also garnered this reputation due to the content within their shows. Everyone knows about Dan Schneider's unholy.
It's nasty because he had a good few kid shows where it's actually younger kids playing in them. Like, it's just weird. It's just weird. Like, he needs to be burning. He needs to be burning. Like, you know, medically. Like, anywhere where you feel irritation. You should be itching all the time. Suffer. You got too much skin so you can't reach it all.
Obsession with children's feet, but it's not like shows outside of his influence are unaffected by a bunch of weird shit happening in them. So this alone didn't exactly make
what was
the
that?
side of his influence are unaffected by a bunch of weird shit
Zoomed in shot of Lincoln's child actor
happening in them. Children's feet, but it's not like shows outside of his influence are unaffected by a bunch of weird shit happening in them. So this alone didn't exactly make Nick look good. But the more details that came out about Dan, eventually culminating in the Quiet on Set documentary, just kept adding on to the growing pile of weird shit under Nickelodeon's belt. Content within their shows aside, you have all the stuff involving John Kay and Chris Savino to take note of as well. Now, I don't have much else to.
Like, it's too many cases. Like, at that point, people really don't mess with people at Nickelodeon that nobody will watch. We're not going to put our kids onto these shows. We're cooked. Like, Nickelodeon, they're cooked at this point. And, like, parents and these grown adults just condoning it. They're like, get us money. Harry, if you get us a meal from this contract, we'll get you your own car. Like, bro, something. Like, or they just gonna take the money and turn around. The parents don't care. They know their kids only got there because they drove them there. They still depend on them. So it's like, dang, y'all supposed to protect them and y'all ain't even doing that. Like, and shoot, I ain't saying nobody in specific, but that's how I'm seeing it. Cause it's like you gotta know, you gotta know. This is nasty. Just seeing a clip of a grown man behind my daughter just grabbing her. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Not even talking about all the other people. The Loud House creator.
Add to this, so sorry if you've heard this before, Nickelodeon is weird. The amount of horror stories that have emerged from this company due to the showrunner's treatment of women and children is weird. The company should not have multiple incidents involving their creators and the treatment of women and children. If it was just Dan Schneider, it would still be really bad, but then I wouldn't be nearly as skeptical of Nickelodeon as a company if it was just an isolated incident.
I don't want to see
there's
you.
been too many incidents. By the way, if you wanted an update on 2 of these people, Dan Schneider initially apologized for all the awful stuff alleged by
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I don't care what he said. He's regretting. Yup. He's regretting for regretful. That's what he says. So he can't take it back. You know he can't, and he's still a creep. He looks like it. He always is gonna be that. You can't run from it. Every time you walk out your house, you're gonna get flamed. You're gonna get cooked. And I ain't gonna hope the worst for nobody. But a lot of good people be suffering more than these type of people. And it be just like, wow. You don't deserve to be here, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You deserve to be locked up in the worst prison with the cartel. Getting the butt. All right. Getting taken.
Right on set, only to then file a lawsuit 2 months later. So,
Hate this dude.
Good luck on that, I guess. Chris Savino, after being fired for sexual harassment, basically disappeared for a good while before pulling the ultimate classic move of re-emerging as a born-again Christian who wanted to make a comeback in the industry. And to pull off this masterful gambit, he joined the advisory board for Lore TV, a far-right Christian streaming service that denies the sexual harassment of co-workers, claims
So they hired you, or what? How did that work? Christian service to make it look good. Christians ever want to cancel Hollywood, they need to rise above the woke mob mentality. They need to put down their torches and pitchforks and pick up their Bibles. It's like, this is the crazy thing. This could be the same person that was touching on somebody's little girl. Like, bro, YouTube, this is only for educational purpose, entertainment, informing. This could be the same person. And John Speed, I don't know you, but people be putting out false images. Like, there's still people at the end of the day. They still get freaky deaky. Like, they're not, no.
Everyone upset about him being hired as just part of the woke mob, and seems to spend most of their time on their official blog complaining about the woke left instead of actually making any shows, because they have no money. They also caught wind of Steamboat Willie being in the public domain and put it on their service as a desperate attempt to give it some sort of appeal, while charging you for it. I'm assuming no one else would hire Chris for perfectly understandable reasons, so he had to settle for the same.
No, these streaming services are boo-boo. Y'all making me pay to watch this boo-boo? No trailer, no, like, subscribe to watch? Come on now. Nobody wants to see that.
Company that sells shirts with the tagline, "Sorry Hollywood, now we're going to cancel you." It's just incredible. Alright, back on topic. Nickelodeon is in the dirt, and they've been in the dirt for a good while now. And there doesn't seem to be any sign of them getting out of said dirt either. I will not be shocked or surprised if more stories of workplace harassment or child exploitation come from this company. I don't want to step into the realm of slander, but I do genuinely think some sort of investigation should happen in the future if this continues to happen. Outside of the ugly and yucky stuff though, Nickelodeon is cooked. I do not have faith that they'll get better. I had faith once, almost 10 years ago when Loud House came out, but they've made their position abundantly clear. They'll continue to make new shows every year, and maybe 1 or 2 of them will catch my eye. But for the foreseeable future, they're going to be known as the SpongeBob and Loud House guys, and their reputation will keep plummeting through the floor. Guarantee you in 10 years time, not a single kid on the block will know what Nickelodeon is or what they once were. And honestly, that's really sad. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Play Sonic X Shadow Generation, baby! I did this bit last time, I just wanted to flex my time on Space Colony Arc. Okay, goodbye.
Appreciate the video, fam. This was Cartoonish's, analyzing of the death of Nickelodeon. I think Nickelodeon has it worse than Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network, I think they just ran into money problems and them not being creative no more. Honestly, like, people can try, but you need a whole squad to make a W show. A whole squad. And the head director has to be okay with spending a certain amount of money on putting effort into this show, paying the employees for real, not Mappa, but putting it top dollar, like they don't believe in the shows no more that they put out. They don't. You could tell, because this should have been more time put in, top tier work, the top animators, the top voice actors, the relevancy. Because you could say like Fortnite is brain rot, but it's a good game that's relevant. They know how to change things. They know what type of people they're actually going to entertain, provide for. They kind of put on for Battle Pass. They got their own thing. And I feel like they just don't know how to make their own thing anymore. There's so many things you could copy out of good creations. And they just want to improvise and make the money grabber. Like Skylanders, them having 4 games, I didn't know they had that many games. I just found out the other day. 4 or 5 games. Different toys. They made millions off the toys in the game. You have to buy the toys to have more characters in the game. That is crazy. But y'all, this was the death of Nickelodeon. This was a good watch for today. I'm about to do like a lengthy cop video, long crime, something like that. And I'm gonna probably upload it in a couple hours. But without further ado, everybody, all my Dexters and Dexes, hang up your lab coats, hang up your goggles. And I will see you next reaction in a couple hours. And tomorrow, we're back to back with it. We're back to back. My week is open this week, kind of. But we're going to do it until we can't no more. Until I need a break. And then if that, we still guaranteed weekly reactions. Guaranteed a few. But all my Dexters and Dexters, I love every single one of y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a great day. I love you, bro. I love you, sis. Peace. Let's get out of here. Dexter Morales, you know what time it is.